Science news, lots of great environmental stuff happening. And then one story, not so great environmental stuff happening. But let's start with the positive. So renewable energy is on the rise more than ever before. In April, renewable energy eclipsed coal generation for the first time in the U.S. Boo. It was estimated that renewables outperformed coal by 16% and will generate 1.4% in May, so this month. With this trend in 2020, annual coal and renewable generation will reach parity. Exciting. Lots of energy.
I
Moving
mean,
away from
it's a big step, and it's something that we were able to reach faster than we expected.
Yeah, and I think it's a really great marking point for where we are, and we see that we are actually making progress, and it's not just empty promises. So,
Well, it also helps with because of like government subsidies. You're seeing solar panels appear on more and more roofs. You're seeing wind turbines that don't cause cancer pop up more and more. Um,
that don't cause cancer. That's worth.
hey, it's my word against the president's. Who are you going to trust?
You really.
But yeah, so I mean, we're seeing this stuff pop up more and more frequently, especially in urban settings. Like, more and more houses are getting solar panels installed, more and more businesses are getting solar panels installed. We're seeing solar power plants pop up around the country. We're seeing wind farms existing and new get updated and installed, and it's they're doing a fantastic job with it, really.
Yeah, way to the future. Moving away from the US, just across the pond, the UK declared an environment and climate emergency just this Wednesday. The motion asks the government to achieve net zero emissions before 2050. It also calls for officials to come up with proposals on how to fix the UK's natural environment and deliver a zero waste economy within the next 6 months. That's pretty big. Zero waste economy. Good luck. The state of
They got their work
emergency.
cut out for them, needless to say.
Yeah, I mean there's just so much that goes into it. I mean, it's definitely time to have this discussion like yesterday, but that's a lot just because we're still doing so much. There's so much to cut down on. So zero waste economy is pretty big
You
within
know,
the next
you've
6 months.
you've heard of like cash for clunkers for like old cars getting like people can trade in their cars just to
Yeah.
get them off the road and they get some money back. They need to like bring that back like once they really start rolling out infrastructure for, charging stations like everywhere. There really needs to be like a big mega billion-dollar investment like every year just to get like gas cars off the road, just more
Yeah.
electrical cars. That's going to be very necessary.
More hybrids and more pure electric cars will definitely help in the long run.
They need to just
Yeah,
get rid of subsidies for oil and too. They don't need it.
They really
there's
don't.
just there's just so many things that are linked to it, like politics, that it's really rough. Like I think it would be a lot easier to have said solutions if there wasn't just other things that go into it,
Dude,
unfortunately.
when Beto O'Rourke was running against Ted Cruz, I was like, go Beto, go Beto, go Beto. And then I find out that he's like the second highest recipient of oil and gas money in the country, and Ted Cruz is
Ooh.
number one. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? I was like, I give up. No, no Beto, no. Get on. Nah, I lost hope in
Win
him.
one, lose the win in one hand,
The thing
lose
is,
in the other hand. But
anybody's better.
they're both on the same hand.
Anybody who's better than Ted Cruz and Beto would have been great for Texas. Now he's running for president, and it's just like, nah. Sorry, Beto.
Ah. Yeah, so the state of emergency was one of the key demands of the Environment Extinction Rebellion, which led extensive climate protests in London in April, which basically led up to, which is pretty big as well. So, in not so happy environment news, Odisha, India had to hasten prepare for Cyclone Fani. It has been classified as an extremely severe cyclonic storm and the strongest pre-monsoon cyclone in the last 4 decades. Odisha ordered the evacuation of more than 1 million people. The cyclone is expected to reach winds of just over 127 miles per hour. So far, winds have uprooted trees and power poles, and 7 deaths have been reported so far. And I looked that up just before we went
that's
on
not
air.
bad. That's
No,
not that bad.
no. Compared to the
How many people are
situation,
reported missing though? That's
they
the number you
haven't
got to pay
covered
attention.
it. I looked it up earlier today, and it hasn't been updated too much since then. I've been trying to follow it throughout the day, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's just so much going on, and it's a little hard to, keep all track of that. I think we'll learn more here within the following days, week. But I mean, 7 deaths considering the situation, and many people involved. The area, it's not first, but 5,000 kitchens are operating to serve all the shelters. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and disaster management agencies are prepared on standby. So seems like they're handling it pretty well, more or less, but I'm sure we'll learn more in the next few days.
Yeah. Well, it always sucks when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more frequent, too, which makes it even worse.
Unfortunately.
This is what happens when you warm an ocean. Well, all the oceans.
Just the whole globe in general.
And how about this? Ice cap melts to the north. It creates like all this. There's like an effect of like all this cold air coming down from the Arctic, and it just makes things like extra cold sometimes.
That's because the melting of the ice caps is causing the jet streams to become unstable, which is why we have the polar vortexes now to deal with every year.
Yeah, so you get crazy, way more extreme weather on either super hot.
That's enough for climate science denying idiots to say like, so much for climate change, so much for global warming.
Well, even scientists are, all the scientists are agreeing now that they never should have called it global warming because it's a misnomer. Climate change is more proper because that's what's happening. We're getting colder, harsher winters, and we're getting hotter, harsher summers. I mean.
Yeah, it's the hots will get hotter, the colds will get colder for a period.
Mm-hmm.
Once the ice melts, maybe it's not going to get so cold anymore. But dries are going to get drier, wets are going to get wetter, and these places that were getting like once in 100 years hurricanes, they're going to be getting it like every 5 years. So
we're way past every 5 years. We're now at almost every year.
Almost every year, yeah.
Yeah, every year something crazy has gone down.
And Puerto Rico is screwed because they are not a state. They're part of the United States, and they just do not have the representation to get what they need over there. So they're just like the...
Yeah, there's still a large portion of Puerto Ricans without power, even though it's been well over a year.